Good afternoon. I am Esek Saunders, the founder and principal owner of the Saunders cotton mill. I was born in 1800 and for some years led a very quiet life until age 16 when I moved to the Boston area. At that time, I got a job driving a stage between Newburyport and Boston, back and forth, carrying people of all sorts. We had many industrialists that I got to know well on this trip, and also some of the people from the state legislature. They were usually willing to answer my questions, and I was kind of a curious type, so I found out a lot of information about how these people ran their business, what they did, all things that went wrong, went right, which I thought if I tuck it all away, maybe sometime in the future I'll use it, and that's just what happened. Because at 17 years after I went to work there, I left their employ. And I gathered my two brothers, Israel and Benjamin, and in 1835 we had heard about the Blackstone Valley and the fact that there was mill activity here, some being built, some underway already. So we came out and checked over the area, found this neat little village. It was owned by a David Wilkinson of Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And he was willing to sell this property. Well, he had built in 1829 a small cotton mill contained in a couple of wooden buildings that only had 1,000 spindles and 24 looms, which is not very much. But he also owned 4 residence homes, a boarding house, the grist mill, the grist mill, and 3 forges, and a blacksmith shop. And that comprised what became the village of Saundersville, ultimately. So we purchased all of that, most of the town, including all the land and everything else. We decided that later that year we would stop building a stone mill. We wanted a substantial building that would last. So we built the new mill, which was 175 feet long, 51 feet wide, with a wing on one side that was 78 by 58. And at the same time, realizing that as the mill prospered, we hoped that we'd have more people moving in to live there. So we also acquired a 200-acre farm on which we had dairy cattle and grew vegetables. So the milk and vegetables were supplied to the town residents as part of the operation. The town did grow. And about 20 years later, we were up to almost 600 population and nearly 50 homes at that point. We had 200 employees, and we were running 12,000 spindles and 214 looms, which is what we had in the mill as long, while it was going on there, fine. However, some financial reverses, and this was not a good situation. They were serious enough so that we had a meeting to decide what shall we do next. Shall we sell the mill, try to sell the mill? Shall we try to weather the storm and come through it? Well, the decision was finally made that we would sell the mill, and we sold it to the Whiten brothers of Whitensville, who were already successfully running a mill operation south of us a short ways. Plus, my daughter Patience had married one of the Whiten boys, which didn't hurt either. So I forgot to tell you one important thing. The financial reverses we ran into were not due to any mistakes we had done in the business. I married my second wife in 1867 and moved into the house we had near the mill, which is walking distance from the mill. But she thought differently about the place and wanted to have something new. So we moved our existing house down the road short distance and constructed a new one that was quite a fancy place. It had much hand-carved woodwork in it, black walnut, finest quality of everything that went into that place. And became the fact that ate into our earnings and budgets in such a way that it caused us to sell the mill. So at that point, being 80 years old, I opted to retire and enjoy life with my second wife.